Hi, I'm Alan. Today I'm talking about the magic of how to stop time. Say, how to live a more fulfilling life. Have you ever looked back and wondered where the last year went? A boring meeting can make 10 minutes feel endless. But when every day follows the same routine, an entire month can seem to disappear. You wake up, go to work, complete the same tasks, return home and look at your phone. Then you do it again. One day, you suddenly realize that another year has passed. So, can we stop time? Of course, we cannot stop the clock. But the research suggests that we can change how time feels while we are living it, how it appears when we look back, and how meaningful it feels to us. So in this video, I want to discuss 4 ideas. Understanding 2 different clocks, why years appears, how to make time feel fuller, and what makes life worth living. Number 1. Understand 2 different clocks. So the first thing we need to understand is that we experience time in 2 different ways. There is experience time, how long something feels while it happens. And there is remember time, how long that period seems when we later look back. So in this research, researchers found that these 2 forms of time judgment involve somewhat different psychological processes. Experienced time depends heavily on attention, while remember time depends more on the information and changes stored in memory. Imagine you sitting in a waiting room with nothing to do. You keep checking the clock, and every minute feels long before your attention is focused on time itself. But later, you may remember almost nothing about that hour. Now, imagine visiting a new place, having a meaningful conversation, or becoming deeply absorbed in an activity. The time may pass very quickly, but when you look back, the experience remains clear and detailed. So, experience time is not equal to remember time. This creates a strange paradox. A boring afternoon can feel long while it is happening, but disappear from memory. A meaningful afternoon may feel short while it is happening, but remain with us for years. So, stopping time does not mean making every minute move slowly. It means creating a life that does not feel empty when we look back. Number 2, why years disappear. I don't know if you noticed that. Why do months and years begin to blur together? A recent review in this paper argues that events may be the basic units through which we experience psychological time. We cannot directly sense time in the same way that we see light or hear sound. We experience time through change. Something begins, something happens, and something ends. A journey, a conversation, a new project, a celebration, or a difficult experience becomes a separate event in memory. When many changes happen during a period, that period contains more mental landmarks. When very little changes, the boundaries between days become weak. Monday looks like Tuesday. Tuesday looks like Wednesday. Eventually, several weeks becomes one general memory. Work, meals, screens, and sleep. This is why a repetitive year can seem strangely short when we look back. A 2024 study in this paper examined routine and unique experiences during the isolation of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the experiment of 18 older adults, unique events were remembered in greater detail than routine events. They were also associated with more positive emotion. Interestingly, days containing more unique experiences felt as though they passed faster. This brings us back to the 2 clocks. A unique day may pass quickly while we are living it, but it creates a stronger memory. A repetitive day may feel slow in the moment, but several repetitive months may later seem to have disappeared. Emotional changes also divide our memories. We rarely remember every ordinary Tuesday, right? We remember the moments when something changed. Number 3, make time feel fuller. If distinct experiences create stronger memories, does that mean we need to travel constantly or live an extraordinary life? Fortunately, no. Trying to make every day exceptional would soon become exhausting. Small novelty can be enough. Unique events included trying a new recipe, learning a small skill, reconnecting with someone, or visiting a different part of the neighborhood. The experience only needed to be different enough from the normal routine to stand out. In this very recent research, researchers also found that new events were later remembered more vividly than routine events. But the researchers found something more interesting. The more vivid new experiences were often connected to family parts of everyday life. They call this something old, something new principle. So for example, you cook, but you can try a different dish. You walk, but you take another route. You meet an old friend, but discuss something you have never talked about it before. You read regularly, but choose a subject outside your normal interests. You do not need to escape your ordinary life. You only need to occasionally change something within it. So, small changes create distinct moments. Then, attention also matters. A new experience can still disappear if we spend the entire time looking at our phone or thinking about the next task. One experience that can pull our attention into the present is called awe. Awe is the feeling of wonder or amazement we experience when we encounter something vast, powerful, or difficult to fully understand. That's awe, A-W-E. It might come from the night sky, the ocean, a mountain, music, architecture, art, or a very important life event. So in this research, participants who experienced awe felt that they had more time available and became less impatient. They were also more willing to give the time to other people, preferred experiences over material products. You do not need to see the Grand Canyon every week, right? You might watch the sunset without checking your phone. Listen carefully to a powerful piece of music. Look at the night sky, visit a museum, or simply notice something beautiful that you normally ignore. AWE, or does not add more hours to the day. It can make the hours we already have feel more abundant. So making time feel fuller involves 2 things. 1, create distinct moments. 2, actually pay attention to this. Number 4, what makes life worth living? That is a tricky question. A life full of memorable experiences is not ultimately a fulfilling life. You could travel constantly, collect thousands of photographs, and still feel that your life has no direction. Memories give life shape. Meaning gives those memories value. In a study titled "What Makes for a Good Day?", researchers examined how people's everyday experiences related to their well-being. They found that people generally reported better days when they experienced greater autonomy or competence. Autonomy means I feel that I chose it. Competence means I feel that I am growing through this. You can complete 20 tasks in one day and still feel that none of the day really belonged to you. A busy day is not always a fulfilling day. A fulfilling day usually contains at least one moment that feels personally chosen and one moment that gives us a sense of progress. That could mean writing one page, understanding one new idea, improving at a skill, having an honest conversation, helping another person, or making progress on a project that really matters to you. The action does not need to be dramatic. It only needs to give you some evidence that you live the day. instead of simply moving through it. This is why a full calendar can still produce an empty life. A calendar measures activity, it does not measure meaning. Time begins to feel valuable when at least part of it reflects our own choices, relationships, and growth. So, in conclusion, in this video, how do we stop time? Definitely, we cannot stop clock, but we can take some action. First, remember that we live with two different clocks. Time can feel slow in the moment, but it disappears from memory later. Second, understand why years disappear. When every day looks the same, memories lose their boundaries and begin to blend together. Third, make time feel fuller. Introduce small changes, create distinct experiences, and pay attention to moments of AWE. Finally, make your time worth living. Spend part of it on things that feel chosen and allow you to grow. Create distinct moments, pay attention to them, make them meaningful. You do not need every day to be extraordinary. You only need enough distinct and meaningful moments to give your life shape. Now, when you are young, life contains many first experiences. A new school, a new friend, a first journey, first job. As we get older, routine can slowly take over and the years begin to look similar. Stopping time means creating life that we notice while we're living it and can still remember when we look back. So, perhaps the real question for you now is not how much time do I have? It is, how much of my time am I actually experiencing? These are the research papers I used for this video. You can check them yourself, and I have included the full list in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. So my question for you is, what is one experience from the past year that made your life feel fuller? Thank you for watching. I'm Alan, and I will see you in the next video very soon. Bye.